All right. I forgot to set up my camera before, but thankfully it looks okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Blanche Fitness. It's Saturday, and you know what that means? It's time for the weekend kickoff, our awesome strength and stamina focused bodyweight class. And just in case you were afraid that becoming Twitch affiliate meant that I had somehow gotten my act together in terms of camera setup or remembering all of the things that I need to do before I actually hit, yeah, let's go live on the stream. Fear not. I still haven't gotten all that together. So, hi everybody. Hello, welcome to Saturday. I am tired. Yeah, you can perhaps see that I am tired. But it is a gorgeous day out. It's supposed to get to like 63, 65 degrees today, which is lovely, and hopefully I will be outside for some of that. So I hope that you are having a good first Saturday of March. We have made it through our first channel week of March, and almost all the way through the first full week of March. It feels weird. Feels weird, friends. I know I've been in a weird mood for basically all of our streams this week, and yeah, that's still going, and I think that's just gonna be something that we're working through for most of the month. You know, it's a weird month for me. There are a lot of really sort of unhappy things that happened, you know, this time last year or some years ago that have anniversaries here in this month, and there are some things that should have been happy things that have anniversaries in this month that aren't anymore, and it's a weird month for all of us, I think. So if you're showing up to class and you're like, I am still in a weird mood, what the fuck, that's okay. Again, we're not here to show up on the mat and pretend that we're not experiencing whatever it is that we're experiencing, because that's not realistic and it's not particularly good for us, because we are experiencing what we're experiencing, and to pretend that we're not doesn't help us manage it, doesn't help us work through it, understand it, accept it. It just tells us that we're supposed to ignore it, which we shouldn't. So yeah, I want you to be real honest with yourself about however weird you may be feeling. Maybe you're not feeling weird at all, in which case I'm jealous. But if you are, don't feel like you're supposed to put on a happy face for class. Again, we're all alone in our living rooms. You don't need to put on a happy face for me. I can't see it. So your face can look however it needs to right now. But yeah, it's been a tiring week. And I know that y'all are aware of that, at least from my end. But we've made it through, and that's big. And we're here, and we're gonna work out, and that's big too. And if you are lucky enough to be somewhere where the weather is quite lovely today, then see what you can do to get outside. You know, outdoors, get a little fresh air. Sure, we're still masked, but you're still getting fresher air, you're getting sunlight, hopefully enjoying warmer weather, and that can have a huge impact. That can also be really hard to manage. Don't worry. I'm not telling you that it's just as easy as, oh yeah, just go for a walk, you'll be better. You know I don't play that way. But if you can, even just stick your head out your front door, or out your porch door, and yeah, see if that helps to give you the energy to get outside for a little bit, even if it's just sitting or taking a circuit around your yard or taking a circuit around your block. Yeah, it can be really, really good to get outside. And that is my hope for myself for today. I'll put it on Instagram. I'll send you pictures if I do manage to get outside for a walk. But yes. Woo. Meanwhile, it's 9 a.m. and this is our only morning class of the week for a reason, because you can tell that working out at this hour is not generally my first inclination. I love this class, to be clear. This is one of my favorite classes every week, and I do like having this one day to really start off the day with a little bit of additional energy, but this is not my preferred exercise time, and that's okay. You know, people find the strategies that work for them and then assume that those strategies are going to work for everyone else. And we all do it. I've certainly done that as well. But here's the thing. What works for you and what may work really well for you is not necessarily going to work for everybody else. Not everybody has the same circadian rhythms. Not everybody has the same amount of executive function energy in the morning as opposed to the evening. And so while for some people it works really well to, you know, wake up super early and get that workout in and maybe go to bed earlier at night, for other people, that is not how their internal rhythms work. And that is not going to be something that's sustainable for them. And that's okay. All right. The thing to do is not to say, well, this works for me and thus it will work for everyone. The thing to do is to be like, look, this is what works for me. It may work for you as well, and it may not. But if you want to test it out as an approach, here's what I've found works. And that goes for everything, quite frankly. That goes for everything. We are strange creatures, and there's so much that we don't understand about the human body, and there's so much variation between people in terms of brain function, hormonal cycles, you know, strength and flexibility and everything, and how we build muscles and how we take in nutrition. Like, there's so many variations, and anyone out there trying to give you a hard and fast rule for the entirety of the human race is fooling themselves and trying to fool you. Don't let them do it, okay? So, you know, for myself, I get up in the morning relatively early, I think, in the grand scheme of things, but I don't want to work out in the morning most days. I want to have that extra time to just sort of be with myself, a time of day when, like, there's not a lot of people vying for my attention, and I can just sort of focus in and be present with myself for a little bit and get my brain ramped up to the point where, okay, now I feel comfortable interacting with other humans. That's how I work. So, you know, I've tried in the past to do like, okay, I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to immediately go for a run or immediately go for a walk. And it's just not something that I can sustain long term. That is not where I have the energy for those activities. And that's fine. And, you know, as soon as I finally sort of figured that out for myself, it became a lot easier for me to maintain my own fitness regimen. That's one of the nice things about doing streams and online workouts is if the stream time itself isn't great for you from like being ready to work out perspective, you can hang out in the chat and you can do the class later, obviously. Oh man, so yeah. But for today is our morning class. Not super early in the morning, at least in my time zone, and it's later in the morning for a number of people who follow this Saturday stream, but we are here. We may be yawning, but we're here. We may be, you know, a little groggy, bleary-eyed, but we've got our water, and we're here, and we're gonna work out. So let's do that pre-class checklist. Speaking of water, make sure you have it in some sort of a large vessel that you can drink from during class. That was the weirdest way to say that sentence. I don't know. Yeah. Still booting up, I think, the brain sequences. You've got your comfy clothes, whatever that means to you. You've got your mat or mat-sized space on the floor. And if you use a fitness wearable, now is the time for us to turn them on to high-intensity interval training. Woo, woo, woo. And yeah, you know what? Let's just get started. Let's just get started, my friends. Okay. No WandaVision spoilers today. FYI, not everybody is able to watch the episodes when they come out. There was one of the things yesterday, and I did end up watching the finale yesterday, but my God, there were people who had watched it before I had even gotten up in the morning, and I was like, what is going on here? All right, so on our mats, on our backs, 1 foot crossed over the opposite knee, and that is not the timer I wanted to start. That's the timer I wanted to start. There we go. As soon as you hear that horn, you will begin with hip rocks and bridges. Hey, there we go. Yeah, it's kind of wild. It's kind of wild to see, like, I guess some people literally, and, you know, not people who are in later time zones than I am. That's the other thing. I guess that's the more relevant piece of information. It's like, okay, you know, if I'm getting up at 6:30 in the morning and somebody on the East Coast has already watched it, well, that's still super early in the day, I feel, to be going, oh my God, I have to watch WandaVision right now. But, you know, okay. But like, there are people in Pacific time zones who had already watched the episode by the time I was about to start work, and I was like, are you kidding me? Really? This early in the morning? We don't want to, like, give people some time to wake up, go through their days, and then get in front of their television and watch. So yeah, you know, it's a fascinating thing about social media with premieres like this, and with this sort of style of episode dropping, you know, which is a very old school television style. You know, this is what it used to be for all shows, where they dropped one episode once a week on a specific day at a specific time, and you were either watching or you didn't. And, you know, we can recreate that to a certain extent, but now there will never be the same urgency to, oh, I have to watch this, or I'm not going to be able to see this episode. That doesn't exist anymore, because we can always go back and watch it later. You know, but our instinct is to then go on social media and sort of have that water cooler moment, have that time of sort of experiencing this thing with the world. And I get that very, very much. But also, you know, when you are going in and watching this thing at a time that just objectively is not going to be the time of day that most people are going in and watching this episode, like, that's really frustrating for a lot of people who are like, I have to work for 8 hours. I, like, objectively cannot go watching the WandaVision episode right now because I've got to get through the rest of my day. So yes. So long and short of it is, some people may still not have been able to see it, so no spoilers. It's very good. If you have been following the show, I thought it was an excellent cap to season 1. And I don't think that you will be displeased with the experience, but yeah, you know, just keep that in mind. Oh my goodness. I'm yawning away, my friends. And that's okay. You know, that's the other thing is I feel like frequently we have a tendency to get on the mat and, you know, you may be tired for some reason or other. And I feel like we have a tendency to get on the mat and try and mask how tired we might be. It's like, well, no, that's okay. It's okay to start out the workout and be yawning, be tired. And again, that's one of the reasons why the warm-up itself, why I focus on reminding you to take it easy, to ramp up slowly over the course of the warm-up, because we don't want to be blasting through what available energy stores we have before our body has a chance to break down more stores into fuel. And if we're starting out our warm-up at the apex of our energy output, then you're going to find you don't have a lot of energy left for the remaining 45 minutes of class. So yeah, if you're getting on your mat and you're like, I just can't stop yawning right now, that's fine. That's totally fine, my friends. Just remember, we're moving through the warm-up deliberately as a boot-up sequence. We are not trying to go for, massive intensity right now. We're just turning on all of the systems that our bodies need to get through class. And that is, that's really our only goal for the warm-up. And, by the end of the warm-up, just by nature, I lost the ability to speak English there for a second. Just because of the types of exercises that we're doing at the end of the warm-up, we will obviously be putting more energy into those because, we end with our cardio cycle. But we still don't need to be going for 100% energy output, okay? You can be pretty close, but still completing a boot-up sequence, all right? So keeping that in mind. So the long and short of it is, yawn as much as you want during the warm-up, my friends, is totally fine. Keep yawning afterwards, who knows? Maybe you're just that white, and that's fine. Take that into account when you decide what your focus is for class, what your goals are for today. And if you're examining where you are and you're going, you know what, I think my goal for today is just to be able to get done with class and go, cool, I took class, awesome, go for it. That's a great goal. Obviously, goal setting is a really valuable tool, and I never want to downplay its value. It can help to inspire us. It can help to push us to challenge ourselves, to achieve, a greater level of performance than we might have convinced ourselves that we could do. It's really valuable, but also it can work in the opposite way, as with most things. No tool is 100% effective for every job. And goal setting can be really, really great for those types of pushes, or when you're in a place where you're like, all right, I really want to achieve X thing. But when what we are trying to do is set up an ongoing and consistent and long-lasting exercise practice, then having such specificity of goal setting can start to work against you, because if you're over here like, all right, this month I want to raise the amount of weight that I can bench press to this amount of weight, and then I want to up it again next month, and then I want to up it again next month. The late stage capitalism model of improving our athletic performance. Well, first of all, it's just not possible. because, you know, we're human beings, we are not machines, and even machines ultimately have caps based on the laws of physics. And so then, you know, if you're doing that kind of like really intensive goal setting and consistently not fully meeting those goals, then it starts to act as a demoralizing agent, you know? And then that gets in the way of our desire to keep working out, and that gets in the way of our enjoyment of working out. So just remember that goal setting is absolutely a tool that we can and should use, but make sure that the goals make sense for you, all right? I don't want to be over here telling you, okay, your goal should be to be able to lift this much weight. If you tell me that that's what your goal is, then cool, we'll work towards that. We'll work towards, you know, ramping up the amount of weight that you're using safely and consistently and getting you to that goal. But not everybody has that goal. For some people, their goal is simply, I want to work out X number of days a week. I don't have any specific performance desires in terms of, you know, speed of sets or number of reps or amount of weight or anything like that. I just want to make sure that I am working out X days a week. That's an awesome goal. Some of us, you know, have hit a particular level in our athletic performance and go, I am really happy with this particular level and I just want to be able to maintain this level of fitness. That's an excellent goal, all right? So your goals should always be valuable to you, and should you know, let's really make a concerted effort to not let other people browbeat us into goals that are not going to be valuable or are going to cause us more harm than good as we try to achieve them. You know, a lot of people, and it's a societal issue, have this sort of, again, I call it the late stage capitalism approach, where we have this belief that we're supposed to be constantly increasing, improving, again, striving towards perfection, which you'll know is a completely unattainable and unrealistic goal. Perfect is the enemy of good. So, yeah, take some time, and you know, we're at the end of the first week of the month, and the beginning of the month can be a really useful temporal marker for us to go, all right, is there anything specific that I want to work on this month? You know, maybe I had previously been comfortable with where my athletic performance was, but maybe in the last month I've been feeling a little plateaued or stalled. So maybe this month it will be valuable to me to set some new goals. Awesome. Go ahead and do that. Or maybe you get to this month and you're like, you know, I have been crushing myself trying to attain these specific numbers, and I am finding that more harmful than good. And so, you know, for this month, I want to focus just on, can I show up and do the workout 4 days a week? And that's awesome too. That is so cool, you know? Or maybe you've been taking 4 days a week with me and you're like, I would like to add 1 day of going out for, you know, a quick run or a walk or a bike ride. You know, we're heading back into warmer weather, which means that our opportunities for outdoor activities are really expanding, you know, so maybe that's what your goal is. And that'll take a while, you know. I feel like frequently I have this sort of innate, totally unfounded belief that adding one extra day of activity is not going to have that big of an impact on my overall energy stores. And it's just not true. Because again, our energy stores are also finite and need to be replenished and take a while to do so. So, you know, maybe I have found a good equilibrium for the amount of energy and fuel that I'm taking in for 4 days worth of class. And then maybe I go, okay, cool, you know, I'm just gonna add in a 5th day and go on a bike ride. And suddenly I feel really run down and exhausted. And it's like, well, of course you do, because you added in a whole another day of activity and didn't change anything else. We are systems that are delicately balanced, and we really need to consider all of the different components of those systems and to figure out what we actually need to do to achieve our goals, you know, because it's never going to be as simple as, all right, well, I want to work out 1 extra day a week, and now I'm doing that. You know, you've got to figure out where your rest days are. You've got to figure out what you're doing to increase your available fuel stores, and yeah, all important stuff. You know, quite honestly, good morning, my dear. To be honest with you all, as I try to be, I'm really bad at that. I absolutely will be like, okay, I want to add this thing into my regular routine. Cool. I'm going to change literally nothing else about what I'm doing or how I'm achieving it. That's fine, right? And what frequently happens is that then I experience a lot of exhaustion that I wasn't expecting, and then I don't maintain the new thing that I was trying to maintain because I'm like, well, that wore me out. Well, duh, of course it did, because you added in more activity and changed literally nothing else about how you were fueling and caring for your body. So I don't know what you were expecting, Blanche. So for the month of March, let's all sort of hunker down and let's commit to ourselves that we're going to think about what we want to achieve in terms of our fitness, but we're going to think about it holistically. We're not just going to say, all right, cool, I want to add in an extra day of exercise and that's my thing. We're going to say, all right, I want to add in an extra day of exercise. What else do I need to do? Okay? Believe me, Amanda, I feel you. All right, we're going to have an interesting day today. I have a variety of things that I want to do. We're going to start with a 5-minute set of toe squats. Just 5 minutes. I know. Remember, feet hip width apart, keeping those backs straight up and down, not lifting the heels actively off the floor, just letting them raise up as you get low enough so that you can get all the way down here can take rests if you need to. Just make sure you are doing the same number of reps between each rest. Everybody on your mats, get ready, get set, and go. So, one of the things that we check on for our toe squats before we go anywhere is, have we engaged our core? All right, because we're basically coming down to a balance position on the ball of the foot. And as with any of our balance positions, we want to manage any micro adjustments using just the foot and the ankle. But if my torso is potentially going to be falling all over the place and I can't necessarily predict where it's going to go, then that just makes everything so much harder on my feet and my ankles. So before I go anywhere, I start by engaging the core, and that creates a nice cohesive sheet of weight rather than a bunch of disparate moving parts. And so as I go down, I know that my torso is staying straight up and down because I've got that core engagement holding it there. And so my feet and my ankles are not down there going, all right, where's it gonna go this time? What do I have to do? They're going, cool, I just have this one cohesive piece that I need to manage balance-wise, and then, generate the force to stand back up. So, before we even start the squat, we are paying attention to that. The other big thing is making sure that you are not trying to move your heels deliberately, muscularly, okay? What we're doing is we're focusing on keeping that back straight up and down, because when we do that, when we start from there, well, there's only so far I can go in the squat before I'm like, those Achilles are really getting in the way. And so I have no choice if I want to keep going into the squat, but to let the heels come off the floor. But I'm not using muscles to lift them. I'm just not stopping them from raising up, okay? And there is a difference. And same thing when we stand back up. We're down here. Our first move isn't drive the heels down to the floor. Our first move is start to press back up, still trying to keep that back as straight up and down as possible, and my heels are just going to come down naturally. All right, that horn was the midway horn. Huzzah, huzzah. You'll love to see it, or hear it, I guess. So remember that you can take breaks, you can stretch during those breaks, shake things out, massage your arches if you are still getting cramps there, which, believe me, I would cramp up in the arches of my feet for a long time with this exercise before they finally strengthened enough. And keeping in mind too that if you have any foot issues, plantar fasciitis is a big example, and I've had friends and clients who have dealt with that, then you may need extra support. You may need to do class in sneakers to get that extra arch support, and that's totally fine. I work out barefoot because that's just how I am most comfortable, but as with everything, you know your body best, and if you need that extra support, then go ahead and wear those sneakers. The only thing that I do recommend against is working out in socks only, okay? Because you need traction against whatever surface you are on while you're doing a class like this. And we have that traction when we have bare feet, and we have that traction when we have sneakers on. They're designed for that. Socks are frequently very slippery. They make it a lot harder for you to stick to the surface, and they definitely raise the likelihood of injury by slipping, spraining an ankle, etc., etc. All right. Let's grab some water. Amanda, honestly, the reason that my fitness is so much better is because class acts as that structure and that discipline for me. Because I'm like, okay, well, I have a class to teach, so I have to show up and I have to be ready to work because it's class time. And that's one of the nice things about classes is some of us do need that external structure to really help us to be able to keep a rhythm and keep a schedule for it, you know? And I do hope that I can add maybe one more class a week at some point. It's probably going to be a while before I do that, just because, you know, I need to be able to have a life. But it is something that I am looking into, adding another class at some point, maybe this year. I mean, we're affiliate now, we can do that. And, you know, just having another opportunity for us all to gather here. Yeah, I feel you. I absolutely feel you. And that's, again, another really helpful thing that we can do for ourselves is to figure out what motivates us, if we're intrinsically motivated or extrinsically motivated. Because some people they need the energy of others around them, and that really is what motivates them to work and to show up and to do whatever the activity is. And that's totally fine. Again, it's always about listening to your body and brain, learning what motivates you, learning more about how you move through space, how you need to fuel yourself, and not treating either our brains or bodies or both as alien entities that we will just never understand. No, we can understand them. We just have to put the work in and build that relationship with ourselves. All right? All right, we're going to do a pyramid, my friends, and I'm only going to give us 8 minutes. I know. But I think we can do that. We absolutely were doing that by the end of October, and we're even more badass now. So, 2 of the 3 exercises are going to be the same exercise, but different size. So we're going to do that extended crunch that I think I've only done in 1 class, maybe 2. If I was doing this in functional home fitness, I would have a very small weight in my hands. And I am going to, one arm and opposite leg, crunch up to the middle, bringing arm to that opposite leg, then down, but not all the way. We're not lying all the way back down on the ground, and up and down and up and down. So that will be exercise 1, and exercise 2 is just the other side, okay? And exercise 3 is going to be mountain climbers. So from our plank position, shoulders directly over wrists, driving those knees up to the chest. And for mountain climbers, 1 rep is and 1, okay? So, and 1, and 2, and 3, etc., etc. So, pyramids. First, we do all 3 exercises with 21 reps. Then we do all 3 exercises with 15 reps. Then we do all 3 of them with 10 reps. I'm just setting a timer and we're kind of going. You can go at your own pace. You can take whatever breaks you want to in between sets. Just know that overall, we have 8 minutes to finish this, okay? So, everybody on your mats, getting ready to start out with the 21 rep level of the pyramid. And your time starts now. All right. So, one of the things that
I'm trying to remember to talk about more frequently is how difficult it can be to count and keep track of where you are with somebody talking in the background. And believe me, if you think it's difficult just to listen to someone else talking in the background, then imagine when that someone is you and you're trying to count and talk and perform the exercise. So I will wave my arms at the screen when we are totally done with the 8 minutes. So if you need to turn down the volume for this section so that you can really focus on getting your reps and counting the correct number of them, that is totally fine. So just know if you decide to do that, I will wave my arms at the camera very dramatically when it comes time for us to move on to the next thing. All right? I like to remind people of that because you know what? I remember how hard it was to be able to keep track of where I was in my own personal count with the teacher moving through the room and talking at me the whole time. And, you know, when you're in person, there's not really anything you can do to like shut off the sound of the person in the room talking to you. But thankfully, when we're doing class online like this, we do have the ability to say, all right, I'm just gonna turn the volume down so that, you know, they're still talking, but I can focus a little bit more on what I'm doing. So just keep that in mind, that you do not have to be listening to me the whole time. You can be just focusing on getting your exercises done. And once you're done, you can turn the volume up, or if I start waving, then you know that we've begun the rest portion. I love that I'm still talking about this because, quite frankly, anybody who's taking me up on this has probably already turned their volume down. But if you're still trying to think about it, this is for you. All right, so the beautiful thing about this is that you really get to go at your own pace. You do not have to go at my pace. You don't have to go at the timer's pace. You can just make the decision that, all right, I am ready to do my next round of exercises, and you can just go into that, all right? And this is one of the great ways that we start building up that discipline for ourselves, because usually I am really controlling a lot about how you're doing your exercises, you know, how you're making sure to time them and all that stuff. And here, you get to time it on your own terms. The only thing that you really need to pay attention to is the overall chunk of time. And that's really helpful. That's really helpful. So that gives you an opportunity to build that discipline and that understanding for yourself of how quickly can I go, how much rest time do I think that I need, how much rest time do I actually need, because the two are not always the same. And that's, you know, a lesson that we are learning for almost our entire exercise careers, basically. We don't necessarily stop learning those lessons because our brains are trying to take care of us. With 5.5 minutes have gone by, FYI, just as a time check, our brains are trying to take care of us, and we appreciate that. Thank you, brains. But one of the ways that they try to do that is by convincing us that we want to save more energy, just in case a saber-toothed tiger happens to burst into the room where you're doing this class. You want to have the energy the wrong way, obviously. I don't know why that's not common knowledge for everyone. And so our brain tends to be a little bit more conservative about what we can actually achieve because it has this instinctive memory of when we really needed to be maintaining a lot of energy for getting out of life or death situations. And so it has a tendency to tell us that we don't have any more energy for whatever we're trying to do. Frequently, it's actually wrong, you know, because the fact of the matter is, most of us are not. Ooh, 1 minute left. Most of us are not in those life or death situations. We are safely in our house, and, you know, the biggest thing that we need to look out for is a tree branch falling on our roofs. So, yeah, just always remember, go you! Are you done? Did you finish? You still got 20 seconds to go. Woohoo! But yeah, so frequently we have to stop and take a look at what we're doing and go, is our brain being overly cautious again? And try and push past that. All right, 8 minutes are done. Woo! All right, that was the 8 minutes are done hand wave. So good job, everybody. Oh my God. Yeah, that was awesome. I do love a good pyramid set. And you know what? This is one of the ways that we ramp up in intensity is by shortening the amount of time that we have to finish it so that we can't take breaks for as much time as we might have before. And that's another good way for us to demonstrate to our brain that no, we do have enough energy to do this thing. We absolutely do. We do not need as much rest time as we thought that we did. So yay. All right, we're gonna do a quick Tabata, my friends. Just a standard 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fair. And that's why I do class along with you, so that if you have technique questions, form questions, you can stop and pay attention to what I'm doing. And hopefully that can help. All right, so we are going to do a Tabata. And it's going to be, what is it going to be? She said, as if she wasn't the teacher. It's going to be, it's going to be high knee runs. That's what I'm feeling right now. So just getting those knees up as high as you can, preferably above the crease in the hips. Okay, but if you're not there yet, then the focus is just as high as you can. 20 seconds of work to 10 seconds of rest, 8 times through. Remember, the first sound does not mean go. Yeah, that's our stop sound. We love it. And then knock, knock, knock tells us to get in position. Get ready, get set. And as soon as we hear that horn, that fanfare, we are moving. So we're just doing a quick Tabata, my friends. So, you know, this is just a really quick sprint set with plenty of reps built in there. So you have the ability to push yourself a little bit more intensely than maybe you would otherwise. And I'm definitely trying to push myself a little bit more intensely today as well, which it can be stressful, you know. I don't want to downplay how scary it can be to be like, oh my God, do I actually have this extra energy though? Like, am I going to be able to make it through? Or am I just going to collapse in a ball on the floor? So don't downplay the achievement, ever. If you are there and you're like, okay, I am really going to push myself this time to see what I can do, that's awesome, okay? And you should be super proud of it. Because I know I'm proud of you. This is intense stuff that we are doing here, my friends. We are really working hard and really challenging ourselves. And that's no joke. And I want you to always be proud every time that you're in class. No matter what your goal is, okay? No matter what your overall focus is, I want you to be proud, because the fact of the matter is, even if all you are focusing on is our bare minimum trilogy, starting on time, stopping on time, and doing the exercise correctly, even if that is the only thing you're focusing on, you are still really challenging yourself. And you should absolutely be proud of your performance, okay? So just keeping that in mind, that no matter whether you are actively in this class going, okay, I'm trying to push myself to a new level of performance, or whether you're focusing on form and on just trying to keep going the whole time, no matter what, you are doing a great job and you are challenging yourself. Just by getting on the mat, you are challenging yourself. Just by taking this class with me, you are challenging yourself. So always, always be proud of that, all right? I'm feeling pretty proud of myself, actually, because I added in an extra set that I don't usually add in when I'm teaching. And that felt pretty cool. So, yeah, find those things that you're proud of yourself for, and remember to pat yourself on the back for them. Alrighty? Woo! Yeah, water. Okay, so let's do another 8-minute pyramid, my friends. What are our exercises going to be? Water is the best. Let's pat water on the back. Good job, water. Thanks for keeping us alive. All right. So, another set of pyramids. What are we gonna do? Well, I think we are gonna do bicycles, okay? So engaging the core to lift chest and shoulders off the ground. One knee into the chest, the other leg extended but off the ground. Opposite elbow to knee and reverse. So just like with the mountain climbers, 1 rep is going to be and 1 and 2 and 3, just like that, all right? Second exercise is going to be turtle stance. So rocking up onto the feet, just standing up and repeating, okay? And third exercise is going to be push-ups, whichever version you want to do, be they wall, incline off of furniture, a full-on plank from the knees, half plank, half wave. So just make sure shoulders directly over wrists, and as you go into the push-up, keeping those elbows glued in by your sides, not letting them fan out. Alrighty? Okay, so bicycles, turtle stance, push-ups, and 8 minutes overall. Again, I will wave my arms at the camera once the 8 minutes are done. So if you decide to turn down the volume, then that will be your visual cue. But everybody on your mat, get ready, get set. Time starts now. All right. And remember too that you get to be breathing a lot more than I do while you're doing these exercises, because I'm trying to talk at the same time, so I don't get to do the big, wonderfully dramatic breaths that I tell you to do. So really make sure that you are allowing yourself to focus in on those breaths and getting that nice push of inspiration and jolt of energy from that exhalation, okay? Remember too, these turtle stands are going to take a lot more time than the rest of the exercises. So you need to factor that in to your overall timing of your exercises, right? So you don't want to be taking your sweet time with your turtle stands, because they are taking overall a lot more time to complete than any of the other exercises, and we only have 8 minutes. So just keeping that in mind, it will probably mean that your rests can't be as long as you might have made them in round 1. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that you do have the ability to take rests in the middle of a set, okay? So if you are going along and you're like, wow, I just don't think that I can do these last reps without totally losing the form, I think I need to take a quick break mid-set. You can do that. I offer that option with a warning though, or a caution, which is that it is not always going to be the effective tool we think it will be. Because, you know, when you're doing everything in a row, you're like, okay, well, I know how many I have to do, and I know how much energy I need for that. And I can just sort of push my way through. And a lot of us do that. We sort of set ourselves up at the top of the ride, the beginning of the set, with the expectation that we want to just be able to, and then get to the bottom, and that's the end of the set. But if we stop in the middle of a set and then go, okay, now I'm gonna finish that set, our brain frequently will go, well, hang on a second, I thought we were done with this. I'm already tired of using this particular muscle group. Like, what the hell? And it will frequently actually make it a little bit harder to finish the set than if we had just kept going through all of the reps at the beginning. So, something to keep in mind. It is sometimes useful to take that mid-set break, and obviously if you're like, I cannot keep my form going, then yeah, take that mid-set break. But just be prepared to have to push yourself to get through the remaining reps, because frequently your body will get a little annoyed at you for taking it back to that exercise that it thought it had finished, and it will really try and make it harder for you. Push-ups. Man, I am a strong and fit human being, and push-ups are still intense. Woo! All right, so we've got 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left. So hopefully you are at about your 10 rep set for everything. All right, so just keep the momentum going. Keep cheering yourself on. Woo! Because you are doing a great job, and you should absolutely be proud of yourself. All right, counting, making sure we've got the correct number of reps going for each set, and making sure that we are using our breath as much as we can. All right, 1 minute left, my friends. Good golly. Whew. Yeah, it is intense to do these pyramids, and I love them. Woo! Yeah. Yeah. You saw, even I at the end there, I had to stop talking and focus, because I was in danger of losing my own form. So, turtle stands are not my friends. That's fair. Turtle stands are an exercise that is simple but not easy, depending on where your flexibility is. All right. Woo! 8 minutes done. We are on our rest now. Always remember that if you're not done in the 8 minutes, you can keep going to finish out your sets. You're just going to get less
overall rest time, okay? Woo! Dang. Okay. Well, we are gonna do another 5-minute set of turtle squats, my friends. I feel like that's a nice way to end out class. Definitely grab some water, okay? I know that I am feeling the need for more water. Holy crap. And yeah. Oh, that post-workout shower is gonna be so nice. Yes. Okay. So we are ending out with turtle squats. Remember, we want the form to be just as good here as it was the first time we did them. So make sure that you are really focusing in on that form, okay? All right. Let us do it. All right, so everybody on your mats, you know the drill, you know the form, you know how awesome you are, and if you don't worry, I'll spend the rest of this timer reminding you. So as soon as you hear that horn, we will begin rounding out our Saturday morning class with our turtle squats. And again, we're not going for speed, okay? Really, when we look at our Saturday class, we focus primarily on strength and stamina. And so the ways to really focus in on them is to make sure you keep moving the whole time. So, you know, we're not trying to do super fast reps right now. We just want to be doing the exercise correctly and to keep going as consistently as possible, okay? And again, you get to decide where your breaks are, where your rests are. You know, we just did a lot of turtle stands, so your quads are probably feeling a little bit more watery than they were the first time around, which is totally normal, totally natural, and there's been a lot of class in between our first set of turtle squats today and this one. So just really focus in on, I am moving, I am maintaining the form, I am making sure that my core is engaged, I am not letting go of my muscles and then bouncing around at the bottom, okay? Remember, gravity is not our friend here. We do not want to be just going, well, I'm trying to get down to the ground. Gravity wants to help, so let's just let go of the quad muscles and just sort of bounce around. It's really bad for your knees, friends. So even if you're going for faster reps, you still need to be controlling the motion all the way down and all the way back up again, okay? Yeah, that is far more important than speeding up your sets. So make sure halfway through, woohoo! Awesome, awesome. So make sure core is engaged. Make sure that your quads are participating the whole way down and the whole way up, okay? Because it's when we let go of our quads that we just sort of collapse down, and we don't want to do that. So, and honestly, having your core engaged is going to help take some of the pressure off of your quads, because it's helping to lift the, and to actively manage the weight of your torso. So it's not just a dead weight on top of your hips that your quads are then trying to manage as you move through the
through the cycle of the movement, okay? So again, start with that core engagement and then go from there. Woo! Man, during your rests, you can massage out the quads, shake them around a little bit. We'll do some quad stretches at the end of class, don't worry. All right, so we are about to head into our last minute. So let's see if at all possible, here we go. Let's see if you can keep moving for the remainder of this minute, all right? And if you can't, that's fine. But if you're looking for an excuse to challenge yourself, to push that little last bit of energy as we head over the finish line of class today, then let's just focus in. 30 seconds left. Let's keep those cores engaged. Let's keep those quads engaged and working. We are breathing. We are cheering ourselves on. I'm cheering you on because you have made it through an hour of class. You have pushed yourself. You have challenged yourself. And you should be so proud of yourselves. And I know that I am as we finish out this minute. Woo! Oh, all right. Good job, everybody. Oh, I'm just gonna shake out my feet a little bit because those are intense on your feet. Let's stretch out the top of the foot, coming up into the shin, just rolling over the tops of your toes and applying whatever pressure is safe for you. I'm standing fully on this leg. I'm not like putting standing pressure on my toes, but I can apply additional pressure to increase the stretch. All right, and we're gonna get down on the mat for a second because I do want to stretch out the quads, and then we might do a bigger overall stretch starting from standing. But to do everybody's favorite quad stretch, the working leg is folded, heel back by the hip, and pulled in as close to the hip as possible. The other leg, we've just sort of let the knee fall open, and it's just sort of chilling there. We're not doing anything with it. And then we will lower ourselves backwards only as far as we need to get a nice intense stretch in the quad. So if that's here for you, awesome. If that's here for you, awesome. And if that's all the way down here, awesome, okay? Once you've settled into your position, I want you to really try to relax into it. We don't move quickly into our stretches because we want to make sure we're not accidentally activating the muscle and causing it to try to contract. We want to let it lengthen. And now we're going to take 4 deep breaths. Every time we inhale, we're going to visualize the oxygen going to wherever we're feeling the most intensity of sensation. Every time we exhale, we're going to try and settle a little bit deeper into the stretch. Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. All right, carefully back up to seated. One hand to the knee, one hand to the ankle. Do not unfold the leg under its own power. Manually move it around, extend it out in front of you, bring the other leg to meet it, shake those knees out, then flex the feet. and point, and flex, and point, and circle the ankles in one direction, and then the other direction. And second side, same notes. Remember, as you're slowly making your way into your stretch, remember that we are not symmetrical creatures, and you may be able to go down farther on this side, or you may not be able to go down as far. And either one of those is fine. Or you may be able to go to the same place. Cool. And once we are there, we've settled in. We're letting ourselves gently settle into the stretch, and now we are going to take 4 deep breaths. Every time we inhale, oxygen goes to wherever we're feeling the most intensity. Every time we exhale, settling a little bit more deeply into the stretch. Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. And slowly and carefully back up to seated. One hand at the knee, one hand at the ankle, manually unfolding that leg straight out in front of you. Bring the other leg to meet it. Shake those knees out. Flex the feet and point and flex and point. Circle the ankles in one direction and then the other direction. All right. And let's stand back up, and we're gonna do our roll down sequence. This will give us some nice hamstring stretching and just really help to anchor us, stretch out the lower back. All right, so feet hip width apart, standing straight up and down. We're gonna let that chin come down to our chest. Everything else is staying straight up and down for now. And then I'm gonna call out an 8 count, and we are gonna roll our spine down 1 vertebra at a time until we are folded over at the hips. And we have brought our hands to the floor or as close to it as we can, okay? So here we go. On my count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And shake that head out a little bit just so that you're not clenching your neck muscles. You want to maintain a little bit of a bend in the knees. We're not bending the knees, but we don't want them locked into position, okay? So just make sure there's a little bit, you can feel the knee's ability to move around rather than if it's locked, then it's just sort of stuck here, okay? All right, let your torso just rock back and forth a little bit. You can bend one knee at a time a little bit more deeply if you want to. Come back to that center. And now, again on an 8 count, 4 counts down, we're going to bend our knees and squat all the way down. 4 counts back up, we will return to this position that we're in right now, okay? Here we go. Down, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up, 5, 6, 7, 8. Shake that head out again, and now take your hands to the opposite elbows. This is going to increase the pull of gravity, which will increase the stretch in the hamstrings. Allow your back to sway back and forth. Make sure you're still breathing, because your hamstrings are probably feeling pretty intense right now. Let those hands come back down to the floor. And now we are going to bend the knees, about 45-degree angle, and then on an 8 count, roll all the way back up to standing. When you get to the top, just stay there. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Stay where you are. Don't adjust your hair. Don't adjust your makeup. Don't adjust your positioning. Just standing straight up and down, feeling that new height in your spine, feeling your blood moving through to all of your limbs again, feeling that energy, that power, that rootedness, taking nice deep breaths, being aware of how hard you worked this morning and how awesome you were. And relax, shake it out a little bit. Oh my goodness. Well done, everybody. Well done. What a happy Saturday. Happy Saturday day today. Yeah, what a nice, I love doing the stretching sequences at the end. I feel like, you know, when you're taking class in a gym, unless they have very specifically structured the class to be 45 minutes of class time and then like 15 minutes of stretching, we don't generally get a lot of examples of post-class cool down that are built into class. And that's something that's really important to me, you know, and it's another component of, we want to build exercise as a tool in our toolbox. We want it as a component of helping ourselves to be healthy and mobile, and stretching is a huge part of that. That wonderful cool down period. This is the point in which we can really work on improving our flexibility, because our muscles are nice and warm and malleable, and it's a lot easier for us to slowly move them into those nice lengthened positions without as much danger of micro tears or other injuries. It's one of the reasons why we do static stretching primarily at the end of class, and we do active stretching at the beginning of class, because we don't necessarily want to stay just in this held, like, white knuckling stretch position when our muscles haven't even had a chance to wake up. So, hey, and oh, you know, Amanda, that is a good thing to remind people of. I'm doing, you know, some stretches up here, obviously, but you can also use what we do here as a jumping off point for whatever other stretches you may feel like you need to do, okay? Again, listening to our bodies. I am not the be all and end all of these are the only stretches you should do at the end of class. So if there's a particular area of your body or muscle group that we worked today that you're like, ooh boy, that's feeling some things, then go ahead and stretch it. Absolutely. Don't wait for my say so. One of my goals is to create some more deliberate stretching sequences that I'll start putting up on the YouTube channel, and that will, you know, give us something a little more grounded, similar to, you know, we always start with the same warm-up. We can have a cycle of, you know, 2 or 3 different stretching sequences that we can run through at the end of classes. Yeah, please, if you want to keep stretching, absolutely do. Oh man, what a good class, my friends. What a good class. I do love this class, and it is gorgeous out. All I see in front of me is blue skies and aspen trees, because that's basically always what you see here in Colorado.
Yeah, thanks for joining me today, my loves. It is just such a pleasure to have this class. Even when we come into it tired, even though it's earlier than I usually like to work out, this is just perfect. And this is the end of our broadcast week, and the end of our second class officially as a Twitch affiliate channel, which again, I'm just like still squeeing about. Feeling energized for cleaning, awesome, that's good. Sometimes we need that extra energy for cleaning, and cleaning itself can be a little bit of a workout, depending on what you're doing today. But yes, this was the end of our broadcast week, so we will be back again next week with the usual schedule. So 5:45 p.m. Mountain Time on Tuesday, we have Perpetual Motion, the class where we never stop moving. Then on Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. is Jump Around, our weekly cardio class. Friday at 6 p.m. is Functional Home Fitness, where we do weight training using objects you can find around the house. And that brings us back around to Saturday morning at 9 a.m. with the weekend kickoff. So please do join me for any or all of those classes. They're all great classes. They all have their own personalities to them. They're a lot of fun. And even if you can't work out or are, taking a rest day, or, are at work and you're like, well, I can't do a HIIT class in the middle of my work, but feel free to hang out in the chat, because we have a fun time there too. Even if you're not able to work out, just come chat and hang out with us. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All of those handles will be in my end cards, but they are all variations on Blanche Case Fitness. My YouTube channel is where I upload all of the VODs from these streams, so you never have to miss a class, even if you can't make the live cast. Just so you know, the VODs will be going up later on Sundays than I had previously been uploading them, because I need to make sure that over 24 hours have passed before I put Weekend Kickoff, whatever class we just did, up on a non-Twitch platform. So uploads will still happen on Sundays, just a little later in the day. But I upload them on Sundays, so definitely head over there and subscribe. If you want to help support me financially in making these streams, we now have two ways. I do have a coffee account at Blanche Case Fitness. If you're able to do, one-time or one-off donations, or if you'd like to support on an ongoing basis, we just made Twitch affiliate, which means now you can officially subscribe to this channel. If you have Amazon Prime, you can use your Prime Twitch subscription, and I'm still just like blown away that that's a thing we can do. It's very exciting. Very, very exciting. And if you want to help keep growing this channel and growing this community, then please do follow or subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends, coworkers, loved ones, anyone looking for an awesome class. I stream 4 days a week. We have a great time here. There's so much we're going to do this year, and I'm just thrilled for all of it. So now make sure to go hydrate and refuel yourselves. Like I am definitely going to. I'm also really going to enjoy that post-workout shower. Make sure that you have an excellent weekend, whatever you are doing, and taking care of yourselves, taking care of your communities, being safe and wearing a mask if you do have to go outside. We are in some kind of home stretch there, my friends, and it is more important than ever that we take care of ourselves and our communities so that we can maybe actually move a little more freely through the world by the end of this year. I know I would love that, and I'm sure you would too. But regardless, we will always have this channel, and that is very special to me. So go on, have some breakfast, have some water, and I will see you all back here on Tuesday. Mwah. Have a great day.